13 meteorologist Sean Ash going to talk about the Palm Sunday outbreak of April 11th, 1965. If you've spent any time in this state, if you grew up in this state of a certain age, that date means a lot to you. Now, outside of the region where the outbreak occurred, sometimes it's known as the forgotten outbreak. But anything but forgotten here in Indiana, as unfortunately, not only one of the deadliest weather days in our country's history, but the state of Indiana took the brunt of this. 47 tornadoes total for the outbreak, 257 fatalities, 1,500 injured. If you look at the state of Indiana alone, the bulk of the fatalities from the outbreak occurred here, over 1,200 injured in the state. 10 tornadoes total on that date in the state of Indiana, 8 of which were categorized as F4. Now, of course, we had the Fujita scale at the time. The enhanced Fujita scale didn't come into play until 2007. So let's dive in and look at the outbreak. It was a very strong weather system, anonymously strong here. And not only did we have numerous tornadoes, numerous strong ones, long track tornadoes that were moving at speeds between 60 and over 70 miles per hour at times. So these were fast movers. You can see the ground it covered. The outbreak began in parts of Iowa. We had F4 tornadoes in Iowa, in Illinois, in Michigan, Indiana, and parts of Ohio here. So again, 47 total tornadoes, but it was the numerous strong, violent tornadoes that rocked Indiana. These are some of the long track ones. Crawfordsville hit, Lebanon, Cicero, and Arcadia. Some of the towns that will be mentioned frequently in this outbreak: Rushville, Alto, Greentown, the south side of Kokomo, and that one went through parts of Grant County into Ohio. We'll show you some of the pictures of the tornadoes, and these have some of the trademarks of violent tornadoes. This was from Rossville and Clinton County on that day, courtesy of the Northern Indiana Weather Office here. And you can see, and we've seen this over the course of time on those our F4 stronger tornadoes, that horizontal tube feeding into it. So that's indicative, again, of very violent motion moving into that tornado that was cutting through Clinton County. This was a tornado in Howard County that was approaching the Kokomo Morning Times. They were snapping pictures. We say thanks to them and the Weather Service off in Indianapolis of a view of, unfortunately, the killer tornado there that was going through Alto. Howard County hit hard. Rushville, numerous structures either flattened or severely damaged here on this date. So you can see what was left behind there in the town of Rushville that took a hard hit. And this was what was left behind of portions of Greentown as well from that date. One of the 10 tornadoes that moved through. Now, as we move into the northern portion of the state as well, you can see the tracks there, 2 EF3s, multiple EF4 tornadoes. Elkhart County hit extremely hard, and you can see the numerous violent tornadoes that moved through on that day, and one of which was captured as it was crossing Highway 33 from Paul Huffman, who was working for the Elkhart Truth. This is one of the most infamous pictures of a tornado, in this case tornadoes, ever captured. The twin tornadoes that were moving through Dunlap, and you can see the debris that was being lofted around these monsters as they was carving a path there between Goshen and Elkhart in the town of Dunlap. Extremely deadly. And this is in Branch County, Michigan. Let me step out because this is what we call a wedge tornado for good reason. Just very ominous. Again, thanks to the folks at Northern Indiana for sharing this picture from now over nearly 60 years ago. So to put this all into perspective, just recently we had 20 tornadoes on April 2nd. Our yearly average for tornadoes, by the way, is 22. We had 10 on April 10th and or April 11th. A lot of folks ask, where? It's tied for 13th. But again, keep in mind, it wasn't necessarily the quantity of tornadoes that day. It was just how strong they were. Lessons learned during that day. It showed the need for a better forecasting and warning system. Now we had tornado watches out. There were warnings. Unfortunately, it was a very balmy day. If you think back to that time, obviously we didn't have cell phones, so a lot of the warnings came from television. People were out enjoying what was a very balmy, spectacularly nice day up until that point, late afternoon and evening. It also showed the need to raise public awareness and then the safety education evolved here over the course of time. We had the super outbreak in 1974, and after that we really started to see things ramp up in our country from satellite technology, radar technology, and eventually the Storm Prediction Center. So the whole warning process would start to evolve after this tragic date, April 11th, 1965.